Hello YouTube, I'm going to take you along on my next project here, something I've been wanting to do for a while. And that is taking this Smith Wesson Model 36, this little J-frame 38 special that I own, which is during the summertime and warmer weather, probably my favorite little carry gun. As you can see, it's unloaded, empty. But this is a great little carry gun. I've had this gun for a while, and I'm going to bob the hammer on this gun. And I can hear the purist screaming right now, "Oh my God, that's an original early Smith & Wesson." It's not that old. This is a 70s gun. These are out there in the tens of thousands. In fact, I got this one from a local gun shop, and it had been sitting there for quite a while because of the fact that nobody wanted it. I got it for practically next to nothing. The gun shop had it there. I talked to them about it. They said, "Look, we'll cut you a really good deal on it." I got it for a fraction of what the Blue Book value on these go for. A lot less in it than a brand new pocket pistol. And it's a great little carry gun, except for the fact that this catches on everything when you carry it. And so bobbing the hammer on these, I'm not going to go through and show you the whole disassembly process of this gun. There are enough videos out there to show you how to completely disassemble a Smith & Wesson revolver, either the K-frames, this one being a J-frame. The only big difference is the way the spring is released in this. Other than that, it's not that big of a deal to take these guns apart. Now you can, if you were on to bob this hammer, you can do this with a Dremel. I really don't like doing it that way, and a couple of the guys I've talked to are the same mindset, because while it can be done like that, you really don't want to heat this part up too much, because these are tempered. Especially these older ones, these are cast parts versus that new MIM technology where the hammers are all whole. They're not, let's just say they're not the quality made. I want to say quality, not, in my opinion, as good as the old cast parts like this. Let's just say that their new ones are made as cost cutting. So the best way to do it is, and it takes a little while longer, is to take a hacksaw with a good metal blade, and you can cut through this. It'll do the job. And what I intend to do after that is I'm going to take some hand files and smooth this out and round it off to the point where then it's basically a bobbed hammer, and then cold blue it. That's what I'm planning on doing here. I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Well, gee, you're ruining hammer." You can replace these hammers. You can find J-frame hammers like this anywhere. They're all over the place. And as long as biggest problem is the hand. As long as you take the hand out of this and everything, and put a new hammer, you don't have to really time it up as much. I've done a couple of them before. It's not a big deal. But as far as I'm concerned, bobbing the hammer on this gun really helps improve. It will help improve the fact that you can carry it better. It won't snag on everything. It just makes it a nicer carrying piece if you're going to conceal carry like something like this. So the next part of the video is going to pick up on me probably right before I cut this. I'll have the hammer in the vise, and I probably won't take you through the entire long spiel of hacksawing through it and everything, but at least show you what I'm doing, how I'm going to mark that, because I'm going to probably cut more here farther back, or maybe even here, and then file it down so I don't cut too much. It's always better to cut a little less, here than you need to, and then file down more. And that gives you more room to work with, and that way you don't make as many mistakes. So that's going to be where I pick it up from there, YouTube, and see what that looks like. Alright, YouTube, there's the hammer for the Model 36 Smith & Wesson out of the gun. You can see the black marker lines I have on it. I'm going to be going with this line here. It makes that curve a little farther back. So I'm going to be taking my hacksaw, cutting that straight down through, and when I'm done, I'll show you that and where the step is going to be going to next, because I'm going to cut that with the saw and then file that down and then cold blue it. Okay, YouTube, the cut has been made. The next step is to take and file that smooth. I have a variety of files here. I have these larger mill files, if you can see that real well. This being a larger file, this will work. You can see that's a big file. but you may not need one that size. I also have smaller files, like this smaller triangular file here. And this also has a dead, I filed this, or smooth the dead end on this. And I even have very small, I'll get them in the frame here, very, very small. You can see how small they are in width, that's the width of that hammer. These are jeweler files. I have these in different shapes. These are very handy when you want to get into these tighter edges. And these are actually pretty aggressive files. And these are nice because both of the sides on these are safe edge. So I'm going to start filing this. And when I'm done, I will show you what it looks like before I cold blue it. Alright, YouTube, the hammer's been cut. And it's been trimmed, polished, filed. I just finished filing it and smoothing it out. And this kind of, it looks a little rough, but it's not. It's actually very smooth. There's no sharp edges. Everything's been dressed down with a file. And so now I'm going to touch up and do some cold blue on there to blend it in. And this has been probably my favorite. You can use any blue. You don't have to use this one here. But Oxford blue has been my favorite for a long time. I've used it on everything. I really like it. You can kind of dull it back a little bit easier than you can others. You just need a little bit like this. And all you're going to want to do is just this. Just lightly rub it on there. Let it sit on there. And you can see it's already starting to darken up. Just let it sit there. And it's already dark enough to kind of match it now. You can see it's already got a nice little bit of bluing to it. And what you do is take, I can't really do this on a screen like this, but you take a Q-tip, backside of Q-tip like this, rub that off and just kind of burnish it, polish it up a little bit. You can do it with steel wool too. And it'll take a little bit of it off originally, then do it again. Should only take a couple of coats of this. And just go over it again. Try to make this easy so you can see me do this a little better. If I put my other hand, just going to get in the way. So anyway, just kind of take it, burnish it, go over it again, like that. And that'll darken that up and up to the point where right now it's pretty much going to match the hammer. And I'll just kind of rub that in. If when you have the Oxbow blue, just kind of like rub that in a little bit. Just kind of let it smear on a little bit like I'm doing right here. And it's darkened up. And now take it, and again, just take a little bit. And either take like a little bit of gun oil like number 9 or rem oil or something like that. Put a little drop on there. And that'll help stop the solution from getting any darker. But there you go. So now it's blued, now it's darkened up. And the next step, of course, is to reassemble the gun, and I will show you what it looks like with the gun reassembled, with the hammer back in, and what it looks like after all that's done. Okay, YouTube, and here we are at the end of this. This project didn't take me very long. A little more than really about an hour and a half from start to finish after the gun was disassembled. And not really counting it, put it back together. Not very long at all to do. And, there it is. The hammer's been bobbed. Again, once again, unloaded and empty. And the action works fine. Nothing wrong with it. Time's up great. I will take it to the range and shoot it, just to make sure. I don't ever, and I will tell anybody, never start directly just carrying your firearm for like your everyday carry gun, your concealed carry gun. If you make any modifications, I don't care what it is, and test fire it again to make sure if this is a gun you're going to bet your life on that it works 100%. So I will take it to the range, double check to make sure it works just fine, and if so, I'll get just put back in rotation as my warm weather carry gun, but now with a much easier to carry. Doesn't have to worry about snagging on anything with that hammer. It's very smooth, even though it looks like it's very boxy. This is very smooth. There's no edges on here. I can run my finger along all the sides here where this is not sharp at all. This is actually much smoother than it appears to be. I didn't want to go too much. I could have done down and just run it right to here, but this is fine. It's, again, I can run my hand on there. It is not catching on this at all. It's not sharp. So that being said, YouTube, again, this is something, if you have the tools, basic set of hand files, I recommend the smaller file, like the jeweler file that I showed earlier. Something like that is ideal for getting into smaller crevices, but start with like a larger mill file. Hacksaw, a vise. A vise is the most important thing, and the biggest thing is the correct screwdriver and tools, and knowing how to take this apart. Once you know how to do all that, that project was not at all hard to do. Very simple. Save yourself time and probably a good little chunk of change having a gunsmith do that. And that way too, you know it's done right. Not saying a gunsmith wouldn't do it right, but you know, it's not hard to do. It is one of these modifications you can do yourself. And with that being said, YouTube, have a good day.